Gentlemen, my name is Benjamin Hansel. I'm one of the board members and the social media director for DANPI. I'm also in charge of, or at least assist in education and training. And today I want to talk to you guys about why DANPI operates the way that it does. Now, DANPI has modeled its system, the way that we approach going after predators and being in the marketplace, at least in the marketplace of ideas, and the way that we try to protect children. We've modeled that loosely after capitalism, the capitalistic market. Now, there's a reason for that. Capitalism is probably, and depending on your political views or socioeconomic views, it's probably one of the best systems that has ever existed in terms of allowing the largest amount of freedom amongst people in that marketplace. And it was interesting. I was looking online, trying to find a couple of ideas about how to describe capitalism and the fundamentals and some of the key features. And I came across Investopedia, which is an excellent website. You've probably used Investopedia if you've ever been in the stock market before. But it was interesting. So I was just reading through how they brought it down. And the first key takeaway, I just wanted to read that because that kind of explains in pretty good detail why we use capitalism as a system to go after pedophiles and predators. And I'll explain more of that here in a minute. But the first key takeaway, capitalism is an economic system that focuses on a free market to determine the most efficient allocation of resources and sets prices based on supply and demand. Now, the most important part about that is that it's a free market to determine the most efficient allocation of resources. Capitalism allows individuals in the marketplace who want to start a business or work for a business or groups of individuals or companies or firms to operate in the best way that they say fit to maximize profits and utilize resources the best. Capitalism allows for that. That's why capitalism allows for the greatest wealth accumulation and allows for the largest companies. That's why the GDP of the United States is large and massive and bigger than any country out there. That's why it allows for companies like Apple to be $1 trillion a year industry and other companies to be hundreds of billions of dollars a year industry because there's freedom. There isn't a certain set standard or way of thinking, practicing, or running your business. And that's good. That allows for companies and individuals to be fluid in the marketplace and to change up the way they engage in their business practices on the fly if they need to. That's why DANPI has modeled our system of going after predators, intervening between their interactions with children. That's why we've decided to structure DANPI the way that it is, because we want DANPI to be fluid, like the capitalist market. You could put DANPI in here instead of an economic system. Obviously, you would have to change the verbiage, but you could say DANPI focuses on a free market to determine the most efficient allocation of resources, i.e., us and you. So we don't want people to go after predators and pedophiles and people that are taking advantage of children in only one single rigid, systematic system, even though it's a little redundant. We want people to find out what works best for them, because what works best for me doesn't work best for somebody else. Now, let's say if I'm on the dark net, right, and I'm on a website and I'm trying to interact and intervene between a pedophile and a predator, I may interact with both those parties in a different way than the president of DANPI, Kelly Offield, interacts with them, because we're different individuals. And if Kelly comes to me and he says, Ben, this is the way I do it. I speak to them like this. I use this certain amount of aggression, or this restrictive, or maybe a little more conservative. And this is the way that I do it, and the way that I handle it, and the way that I speak, and the words that I use. You need to do this. Well, that may be uncomfortable for me, and it may be inefficient for me, because I'm not him. I don't have his personality or his mannerisms. My rhetoric may be different, the way I structure my sentences, the aggression level that I might take against a predator or a pedophile, the way I may speak to the child who's being taken advantage of, it may be different. So that's why DANPI has modeled the way that we operate after the capitalist system. Now, of course, there's no such thing as a one-to-one exact comparison, but it's fairly similar and close. So that's why we have decided to model the way we operate after that. And this is another reason why DANPI on our website has forms that you can fill out where we want you to interact with us. We need your interaction, the way that you operate in the darknet, the conversations that you've had with predators and pedophiles. We need that information so that we can help educate people better. Now, there are core fundamentals, of course, that we want everybody to practice the same. You know, when you get on the darknet using a Tor, there are certain things you don't do ever. Don't ever open any pictures, JPEGs. We don't go to image boards, right? So there is a system in place that we teach and we want people to utilize, you know, and there are certain standards and parameters loosely that we utilize, but for the most part, it's up to you, because we can't do it on our own. And if we were to come on here and say this is the only set perfect way to do this, the predators are going to adapt. They're going to change. They're going to do something new. They're going to go to a new website. They're going to, you know, start using VPNs, or they're going to change their IP, or they're going to, you know, just the way they operate is going to be different. It's the same as if, you know, if you were working for the ATF or the DEA and you were working against a criminal organization. If you always did it the exact same way, they're going to catch on to you, and they're going to change the way that they operate to evade you. It's the same thing with us. So we want to make it as hard as possible for the pedophile or the predator to adapt and overcome us as a community. So that is why we operate the way that we do, and that's why we've modeled our system after the capitalist system. Even though it's economic versus social in a way, we still feel that this is the best way to do it. So anyways, we want to thank you for stopping by, guys. We just want to give you a quick breakdown of why we do what we do and the way that we do it. Now, if you want to support us at DANPI, you can always go to danpi.org. You can donate there, or you can go to the education page. You can watch the video. I have a training video on there where I walk you through how to get on the darknet, so you can actually get on there right now yourself, and you can start to make a difference, a real difference. And I know some people say that, and they say you could make a difference right now, and then you give them $29.99, and then nothing ever happens. That's not where we're not here to actually do that. It is interesting that you can actually make a real difference. You can log on to the darknet right now. After watching this video, you could go onto a chat room and you could see a predator trying to take advantage of a child, and you could interact. You could actually make a difference in a child's life. All right. Thank you for stopping by, everybody. We'll see you later.